Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to day 68, build day 68. As you can see over my shoulder on both sides of the street, we had our delivery of concrete hollow block yesterday afternoon, and they finished up last night before leaving out probably around 6 or 6:30, I believe it was. Continuing on this morning, what these guys are going to be working on, we've got our welders and our plumbers back on site today. They will be continuing to work the roof lineup as well as the plumbing in the master bath respectively. The rest of the guys are continuing on. As you can see, we're starting to do cornering on the bay window in bedroom 2 as well as looks like plaster coating going on in bedroom 3, more plaster coating in the office, as well as continuing with plaster coating in the master bedroom. On the back side of the building, which you can't see from here, the steel men are continuing to work the roof beams across the exterior wall of the building. So putting that up, that's going to help once they get the forms done on that poured concrete. That roof beam will help support obviously the roof. So the two will work hand in hand, both the roof beams and the roofing structure. So the welders and the steel men will start working together here soon. That's pretty much a good synopsis of what we're expecting for today. So let's get started. Today we're starting in the master suite. We have a lot going on. So the plumbers are going to continue here, locating the drain lines for the master bath. Our steel man, Mr. Jojo Pala, is going to be doing a test fit for the 80 centimeter door. And Mr. Jericho will be continuing to do plaster coat. Looks like they're going to continue with the side portions here, both sides of the main window. Let's go walk through the rest of the house and see where everybody else is at. Excuse me. Continuing into the office, we're working on the far wall, doing the initial plaster coat. Plop, plop, plop. They're gonna plop a bunch up on there, and then once they get a good amount set, they'll go back through and smooth it. All right, let's continue. In the living room, Mr. Tuck, my electrician, had a family appointment today, so he will not be in. However, when he does continue, I will work with him to locate 2 floor outlets that have yet to be located. So once we locate those, he'll continue with the conduit and rough end for the electric. And again, plaster coating continues in the dining room area. Let's walk on back to the bedrooms, down the hallway in the guest hallway. All right, Mr. Wilson is working the plaster coat. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Working the plaster coat in bedroom 3, and here in bedroom 2, Mr. Jojo is getting started on the cornering for the bay windows. Morning. Working on the cornering, diba? Yes. Yes. Very hard, he says. Yeah, this is a difficult window. Normally on a bay window, you don't have a wall in the middle, and this one's got a wall in the middle of the bay window, so it's kind of difficult. So upon speaking with the plumbers this morning, they are going to continue in the Jack and Jill and the maid's suite, starting to plumb in the supply lines until they can get access again to the master's bath. All right, we'll catch up with these guys a little later on and catch them in action. Our warehouse man, Mr. Edmund, is assisting with the gutter downspouts, making sure they get the 90-degree angles out so that they'll be able to be connected into the gutter of the hidden gutter system. My steel men down here on the end are still continuing to work the roof beams. As you can see, they finished this one here on the west wall of the maid suite yesterday. Today they're going to continue around from the back of the maid suite, the garage, the dirty kitchen area, over the breakfast nook until it ties in with the second floor or attic floor slab, and then they will continue on the other side and tie in from the above the master suite all the way around until they tie back in, and then they'll go back and start catching some of the smaller connections where they, such as this small section here. Excuse me. This small section here, they will catch at a later point. Once they're done with the long sections, they'll come back and do the small ones. This is Mr. Joseph, one of our welders, is starting to work on the fabrication of the web trusses. These are what's going to come across from the exterior wall up to the pinnacle, up to the tops of the roof ridge. We're actually doing a different style of roofing trusses than what is normally done here in the Philippines. Normally with the trusses they build, they just do large single pieces of angle iron that'll go from the corner to the top, and then they do the big V shapes for the truss, with the supporting all the weight supporting on the top of the top of the walls. So the weight from the roof lands directly on all the walls all the way across the whole building. So it ends up going into all the columns throughout the house. The way that ours is going to be is they're using a web truss, so that instead of having the big pieces of angle iron coming down, say like the support member here is, instead ours is going to be web truss that's going to come just down the section at the top, so that we're able to have a usable attic space. So we'll be able to actually use it for storage, for walking around, primarily for this large section here in the middle, to be able to use that for a media room or a game room or a man cave as it may be. So we'll work on that as we continue going through, and we'll show you how those changes are a little bit different than what they normally do here. If I can get into another house that has a standard style truss system in it, which I think I can with my sister-in-law's house, we can look at that and show you the difference. We'll compare it when it gets a little closer to actually something that you can see A versus B type setup. Okay, let's walk around and see what everybody's doing post mid-morning break. Looks like we're making some more mortar. They are doing lots of plaster coating, so they're eating up the mortar pretty fast. Up in the back corner, you see Mr. Marvin and Mr. Alex continuing with the roof beams. Let's go walk on around to the front, the bay window area. Hey, I did change the video settings back to 30 frames per second as opposed to the 60 frames per second, which gave me the video stabilization. If you notice a difference in the video quality, please give me a comment as far as which one is better. Over the last 2 or 3 days, I've been doing the 60 frames per second on a 4K setting, but I didn't have the video stabilization that I do now with the 30K, with the 30 frames per second. So if you can give me a comment below and let me know how that it's working out, which one is better. Here Mr. Jojo is still working the window cornering in the bay window. This is for bedroom number 2. These 2 windows here will actually be in the closet area. This one here will be into the lavatory or the sink area for bedroom 2. The jackhammer that you're hearing is the Plumbers inside the Jack and Jill bath, and they're prepping the supply lines for that bathroom, so the hot and cold water. I'll show you that as we get inside. Let's go continue walking. All right, Mr. Justin is working the plaster coating in the dining room, as these guys, Mr. Ben and Rico, are continuing to work the plaster coating in the office. This is quite a long process and lots of mortar, a lot of mud. All right, let's go take a look here in the back. I believe Mr. Wilson was working the plaster coat in bedroom 3. Still continuing that, and Mr. Gabby here is helping him. He's assisting. Let's take a look in bedroom 2. You can see what they're doing with the supply lines. It will be getting a little loud. So they're putting in the supply line. This is for the hot water coming down on the left hand side of the sink, going up through the top. Cold water you will see coming in from below. So we're working this, see how it goes. I'll continue to check in. Coming into the master suite, and take a look at the door frames, see how they're working on. Mr. Jojo here is, looks like it's not going to be a temporary set. This is going to be the permanent set for the door frame, and he is blocking in the side portions to get this door put in place. We'll continue to check this in. Mr. Jericho is still working the screening for the plaster coat on that particular wall. All right. Not sure why this section had no sound. However, what we're looking at is the hot water coming from the solar hot water heater that will be installed later. This is the PPR pipe coming from above for the hot water. Next to it is the cold water supply going underneath the floor, supplying into the Jack and Jill bath. The first line goes into the shower line, the next line goes to the commode, and the third line goes out to the other sink for supply, as well as there is another hot water pipe there coming from the solar hot water heater. That's for bedroom number 3. Now from the outside, this is the clean out for the drain line in the Jack and Jill bath. As you can see, it's about 2.5 feet over from the corner of bedroom number 3, and yep, about 2.5 feet, and just below the floor beam, or the floor grade beam. On the other pipe you see here, there would be a gate valve. This is for the supply, the cold water supply coming into the building, directly below the window for the Jack and Jill bath, the actual bath area. Alright, welders are on a roll over here, still making more of the trusses. Looks like they're on number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, number 7. Cruising right along. Alright, let's go back inside, take a look around the rest of the building. excuse me, the plumbers are working in the maid's restroom. Follow the plumber in here. And what they've been working on is chiseling out where the supply lines are going to go. So they got it all chiseled in right now, and these are the drain lines that we showed 2 days ago. So we'll come back soon and take a look at what the supply lines look like. All right, coming back around to the front. Mr. Jojo is working on the window cornering still. Mr. Wilson is doing the same. He's still plaster coating on the inside, and he's doing 2 jobs at once. You notice he's already put up the window sill nosing that he will finish up a little later, so it'll be completed all at the same time. Let's continue on around inside the house. The one wall on the dining room looks good. It's all smooth, same level. Would never know there was a bulge on the column. So the next one's going to be here, probably tomorrow morning when it's a little cooler. Inside the office, Mr. Ben's still working on the southern wall. Looks like he's getting ready to move on to the next step, which will be screeding and finishing. Coming into the bedroom, master bedroom. So we're blocking in the door. This will be the door entrance into the master bath. 80 centimeter right swing. That's all getting plastered in, mortared in, bricked in today. And Mr. Jericho is over in the corner, and he's doing screed work on this wall. You can see his finished product from a little earlier on this side. Good, smooth work. All right. On the back of the house, right up here, see Mr. Alex and Mr. Marvin will be up there shortly. They're continuing with the roof beam going around the top edge. They will continue that into where it combines in with the attic floor slab, and then they'll pick it up directly above me for the rest of the master bedroom. Alright, what you see these guys here doing is they're putting the piping together, the PPR piping, which is done by hot fusion. They use an instrument you'll see here in just a moment that is similar to a soldering iron. They put the pipe on both sides, get it hot, pull the pipe off of the iron while they're still hot, push them together, and when both pieces of the plastic cool together, both pieces of the PPR cool, it is fused as to one piece. Does not use any cement. Right, we're going to take a look inside the maid's bathroom. What we're going to look at here is the supply lines. Coming from above is going to be the hot water line, which I just showed you. They were doing the fusion welding, fusion connections for the connection pipes, connecting the pipes. They use what looks like a, sorry I didn't see it, looks like a welding iron sort of thing, like a curling iron. They heat up both sides of the pipe and stick it together. Here, what they've done, this is hot water line coming down for the sink and then across over for the shower. Coming from underneath, coming from outside, we have the cold water supply coming in, It'll turn, come up. There's a gate valve on one side of the toilet that will cut off all the water to this room. On the other side is the supply line for the toilet, so that you can be able to flush your toilet. Then you have the supply line for the sink, and back over this way is the supply line for the shower. And then, like I had shown you 2 days ago, here's the drain lines. We've got the floor drain for the shower, the drain for the toilet, the floor drain for the room, so that when you're mopping or it gets really wet in here, you just push everything down the drain. And then the drain for the sink. Alright, so this is how the maid's CR is going to look. Back into the master suite. Look at the door that was put in today. Yeah. They bricked in the side, mortared. What? What? 80 left. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the 80 left.
Yes, okay.
To go into the water closet. Okay. Jericho's continuing with the plaster coat. Okay, let's go look around the rest. See where everybody else is at. Doing the finished coat. Hey. Finished with the sides on the window cornering on the bay windows. This will be finished tomorrow. They'll do the tops and bottom. Up on top, the roof beams have continued to the closest column. And then they picked up on the other side next to the master bedroom, and they'll go around here and continue over to where they started a couple days ago. All right, it's yabba dabba do time, shower time. The guys are starting to wrap up. So today we got welders that were on site. They fabricated probably about 7 or 8 trusses, kind of prefabbed, so when they get ready to actually start doing the trusses in place up above, then they'll have those already prefabbed. Talked to the engineer today. He did mention that we may be doing concrete pour for the attic floor slab as early as middle of next week. So we're looking forward to that, trying to get that going. The rest of the rooms, they're continuing with the plaster coating and working on the door frames in the master bath. So they put in the 2 door frames there, the one for the entrance into the master bath, and then also the one into the water closet for the master bath. The plumbers were out today as well. They completed the water supply lines for the Jack and Jill bath right over here behind me, as well as the maid's restroom, or the maid's CR. So that was all completed today. Everything else is running along smoothly, looking good. The metal guys that were working the rebars for the roof beams are working their way around. They're back over to the back side of the master's bathroom, master's suite, sorry. They're back over there. So everybody's cruising right along. So that's about it for what happened today. So we'll see you guys again tomorrow. If you liked today's video, please give us a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these videos, hit the Casa TexPina star right over here. If you'd like to be notified when our next video becomes available, hit the bell icon just below the view screen. And while you're down there, leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing. I asked for the comments a little earlier today. Please let us know how the video looks. Going 30 frames per second today versus the 60 frames per second I was doing the last couple of days. I need to know which version to go with. Other than that, you guys have a great afternoon, and God bless. Thank you for watching. If you liked today's video, please hit like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon to be notified when our next video becomes available.